Hey everybody, it's Gary from Gary E's Sketch Cards. How y'all doing? I hope you had a good week. This week is episode number 14, where I'm drawing Ash from the Evil Dead movies, both Evil Dead 1 and 2 and Army of Darkness, as well as a cameo apparently at the end of the Evil Dead remake that came out a couple of years ago. I'm doing this card. This is going to be the second card in the San Diego Comic-Con series. Last week when I did Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne and Henry Cavill as Clark Kent, that was because some footage of Batman v Superman was released at SDCC 2015. Also released around that time was footage of the new series Ash vs. the Evil Dead, where Bruce Campbell revisits the character Ash from, obviously, the Evil Dead movie series, Evil Dead 1 and 2 and Army of Darkness. And also apparently a cameo at the end of the Evil Dead remake that came out a couple years ago. So I wanted to do a card of Ash, and I don't know how this video will do drawing Ash. I'm assuming he's got fans, and I'm assuming that people are excited that the Evil Dead series is coming out. I believe it's on Stars, and I believe it's also coming out in October. Up till this point, I do know that the Evil Dead series and the Ash character were part of the comic book universe. It's very prevalent for shows, movies, characters to sort of continue in comic book form. Completely sidestepping, I know Firefly has a bunch of comics. I know Ash and Evil Dead has had a bunch of comics and stuff. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be really cool to see Bruce Campbell come back as an older Ash. Well, it could work. I mean, he is Bruce Campbell, so I'm going to assume it's going to work. I'm going to be interested in seeing it and figure out a way to do so. I wanted to talk kind of quickly about this is going to be, I guess, the art lessons section of the video this week. I wanted to talk about the eyes in this particular drawing. Every week, I kind of struggle with getting the eyes together because from time to time, I'll draw eyes that don't line up, or they're too far apart, or they're whatever. And everybody talks about how eyes are difficult to draw. It's not so much the drawing of the eyes themselves; it's the placement of the eyes on the face that, for me, can be a struggle sometimes. You want to make sure that they are lined up straight from ear to ear. There are dimensions on the face and on every head and that, and if you're just drawing a regular face, you can kind of make it up as you go, and if you practice it from time to time, you'll get the hang of where everything goes. The eyes, where do the eyes go in relation to the nose? Where do they go in relation to the ears? And how they line up and everything. Like I said, if you're practicing on just a head, on just a generic face, if you keep doing it, eventually you'll get it. When you're doing a portrait, however, there is a specific location that those eyes need to be at, and like I said, I think I kind of got it pretty close this week, and like I said, I got it in one try, which was kind of nice. I didn't have to sit there erasing the eyes again. But yeah, I guess that's the art technique part of the video this week. I will show you another art tip here in a second. I'll let you know. I used a piece of equipment called a drafting shield, an eraser shield. This was from my drafting days back in high school, and this thing is probably 30 years old. You're going to see it coming up here in a minute or two. It's basically a piece of metal that I use that the way it works is it has a bunch of cuts in it and a bunch of slots and circles and shapes and things like that cut out of it. And what you do is, it's kind of the same principle as using a mask with an airbrush, where you cover up parts of the drawing that you don't want to erase, and you leave parts that you do want to erase exposed with these cutouts, the shapes and everything. And you can erase certain sections of a drawing, very small details on a drawing. You don't have to, put the eraser down there and just start erasing a bunch of stuff, and you lose a lot of lines that you want to keep. You can use this erasing shield right there. That's the erasing shield, and you can erase just certain little details and little sections of your drawing. So I guess that would be the art equipment section of the video this week. Like I said, a couple people have mentioned in the comments that they want to hear more about my technique again, and I figure, okay, I might as well do so. And again, I don't know too much about, like I've seen these movies a couple of times, so I figured, as opposed to talking all about Ash and all about his character and everything, that maybe I'll talk about the technique. With that being said, let's talk about his character. So Ash has a chainsaw for a hand. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up and you'll see what I'm talking about on YouTube or something like that. He also has a shotgun that he calls his boomstick, which that's actually the shotgun in the back left-hand corner behind his head. And I sort of left these things out, or I left the chainsaw out, obviously. I didn't show the whole shotgun, just the butt of the gun and that. Because I wanted to go a non-traditional route. There were a lot of photos, there were a lot of the same photos that I found online, and I kind of like to use photos that not everybody else is using. You know, even though you may like what you're doing, it kind of loses its uniqueness when 1,000 other artists are drawing the same thing, and they all could be really good in their own right, but it's just when you look at the same pose, it just kind of gets meh after a while. So I kind of like to use non-traditional photos when I do these sketch cards. So this is Ash from the Evil Dead and Army of Darkness series. I want to throw a special shout out to everybody who's subscribed to my channel. I'd like to encourage all of you to please subscribe if you want to see videos like this. Like this video, share it, comment, leave me a comment below. Till then, I will see you next week. Make your art awesome and have a good week, y'all. Take care.